Hey, heathens, are you feeling a little too jolly this holiday season and need some dark humor to balance it all out? Or maybe you just want to hang out with us while you wrap your presents, sip your peppermint cocoa, and avoid, the in-laws or the crazy relatives that you just do not want to get stuck in a conversation with? Or maybe you're ready to join us for our holiday edition Potty Podcast episodes where chaos meets Christmas cheer. Well, great news! We've made things super simple over on our Patreon. There's only one tier, and that's Tier Skull. When you join, you'll get ad-free Deadly Faith episodes because nothing kills the mood like an ad mid-murder story. And you get full access to the Potty Podcast where we talk about everything we can't fit into the main show and we just let the conversation flow. It's the perfect way to add a little dark sparkle to your holiday season. You get caffeine, crime, and a cozy dose of chaos. So unwrap your dark side and join the Heathen family today. Click the link in the show notes to check out our Patreon and join Tier Skull, the gift that just keeps on giving. Now, happy holidays, heathens, and back to the show.
Hey, heathens, you're listening to the Deadly Faith Podcast for Religion and Crime Collide. I'm Lola, and this is different this time.
It is?
The mind that was in Jesus, that mind is in me.
Without me, life has no meaning.
Why would God tell you what I'm thinking and tell you what I've said to my wife or my husband when you're not around? It's because I'm the pastor of the church and I need to know.
This is the only place where you can see truth.
This is different. So we just finished with our Halloween stuff.
Yeah?
But I wanted to give an extra one.
Oh!
At the very end here.
Is this a bonus episode for Halloween?
Yeah. So I know we're approaching, the Grateful era, but before we get to that, let's stay spooky a little while longer. Are you ready, Laci?
Yes, I am ready. Now, I know when this comes out, there's an episode in between our Halloween series and this one because we did, our special 100th episode. But that's cool. I'm excited for this.
Yes.
And we're also, just so everyone knows, we're recording in the morning.
For once.
So grab your coffee. Like I always say, grab your coffee, take a sip. So let's take a dip.
Hell yeah.
Into some crime and contemplation.
Okay,
I'm ready.
So, again, we're in the haunted halls of Deadly Faith's Halloween edition. A nightmarish descent into possessions, exorcisms, and unholy terror. Enter, if your soul can withstand it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Trigger warnings, very graphic mutilation and torture, murder, and exorcisms.
Torture. Oh, that's the...
Yeah, that's the kicker.
Those get me.
So let me take you back. It's the morning of October 19th, 1974.
Okay.
In Ossett's, not New York, sorry.
I really thought you were about to say New York.
Ossett's, West Yorkshire, England.
Okay.
A man is found roaming the streets, sopping in paint and yelling to no one in particular about the devil, dark powers, spewing one sentiment over and over. It is the blood of Satan. It is the blood of Satan. He slumps onto a park bench after a disturbing performance.
Okay.
Satan, the devil, whatever, doesn't have a bodily form,
Right.
How did we get here?
Yeah.
Is that blood? Is that paint? What is this?
What is this?
So let me backtrack a bit. Let's start from the beginning.
Can I ask you, if you would be in that park and he comes up looking like that, what would you do?
I'd say, please don't touch me. I'm going to call the police now. Have a nice day.
Goodbye.
Please do not touch me.
The way I would be like, and one movement this way.
Even if it is paint, I am going to try to not make direct eye contact and just hide in the shadows as I call police.
I even do that today when I'm trying to walk to my car and people can be sociable and I'm like, I get it, but I'm
not the one, chief.
I don't want to talk to nobody. Yeah.
You got to be careful. So careful. If you're not careful enough, they'll stick a Dollar General up your ass. They'll put them anywhere these days.
They're on every corner.
Including yours.
Nobody has seen me at my worst like Dollar General has.
Good. Dollar General actually sees it all.
They see everything.
Okay, so the man in question is Michael Taylor.
Okay.
And he's from Ossett's. This is his hometown. He's a normal dude. Okay. Nothing fancy about him. He's a family man, you might say. He had a wife named Christine Taylor and 5 sons and a dog.
What happened to get us from there to here?
Well, Michael and Christine live a pretty happy life overall. Even Christine's father said, like, watching them together, even after they were married for several years, it just seems like Michael is always still courting her, always still like flirting with her. And like,
Yeah.
you know, he's super good to their sons. He provides for them. He's just like a middle class, blue collar worker that just loves to provide and see his family happy. That's what he lives for. He was a butcher, and he really liked what he did. And he took pride in everything he did for providing for his family.
Again, how do we get here? Okay.
So in 1974, Michael suffered from a back injury that left him unable to work full time.
Oh, man.
And during this time, Britain is also in a recession, so work is kind of scarce.
Oh, my goodness.
And money is very tight.
Yeah.
So even a part-time job it's not happening for him.
Yeah.
And so he's like devastated that he cannot provide for them, and they are like suffering financially for this.
Yeah.
So that summer, the family started attending church for the first time.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're in a difficult spot. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
They want some kind of hope. If it's not coming financially, the lives that they're in, they're like, I'll get it where I can get it. And that's church.
Hey, a church family is not a bad place to go for
that's true.
Extra support when you need not just emotional and spiritual assistance, but also physical, like food and supplies and stuff like that. So they were not considered to be like a religious family in general, but they were looking for that comfort, stability, community. So why not?
Yeah.
They started attending Christian fellowship group after their friend recommended the congregation to them.
Okay.
And it's one of those enthusiastic Christian groups. So like public healings, divine prophet messages,
Okay.
speaking in tongues, and exorcisms.
All right. So we're getting on to the Pentecostal side of it all.
And the services are very different than any other Christian churches at the time. Like New England is still pretty like conservative for the most part with their services.
Yeah.
Everyone sits down for the services. They don't,
Yeah.
they're not up and with hands raised and stuff like that.
Hooting and hollering. Yeah.
Yes. So the leader of this church is actually 22.
Damn.
Which is crazy to me. Her name is Marie Robinson. I'm not sure if it's Marie or Mary, but
yeah,
I heard it pronounced Marie, so I'm going to say Marie.
Also, it's a woman. That's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
So Michael was inspired by her sermons and her worship services. It was like providing him with a new hope for his family and the future, and her messages spoke deeply to him.
Yeah.
In one Bible study, Christine actually told some of the attendees that Michael's spiritual awakening was something akin to carnal.
Okay, don't like that.
I don't know what that means, though. I still don't understand exactly what she meant by that.
Carnal, my brain goes to like animalistic. You know what I mean?
So part of me feels like it's sexual in a way.
Could be.
I don't know.
Carnal. My mind goes to like animalistic, so it's like fierce.
Maybe it's just kind of aggressive.
Yeah, like went from nothing to like over devotion.
Yeah. Well, Marie, the pastor, encouraged Michael and would often study with him privately. And specifically, they would study scripture that was defined by like dark forces, the devil, demons, things like that.
Why have we got to focus on that?
I think
never good.
Maybe they were trying to make a connection between like all the bad things that were transpiring recently in his life. You know, they were trying to like make sense of that together and what he could do to like make things better.
Yeah.
So I think it might have started with good intentions. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here with it.
I think you're right in the sense like it could have definitely started with good intentions. My problem with going in that direction is it's that very religious black and white. Like I need a black and white answer on why I'm going through all these hardships when life is just fucking life and you can't like. There's so much gray. We don't have the answer to...
There's not necessarily a rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah, we don't have the answer to everything. What you need right now is support, love, and care. And let's focus on that, not the, why is this happening to me?
You're right.
Because I'm sure it's going to lead us down a path that's not great. That's why we're here. That's why we're talking about this.
So Michael was emphatic about study and worship, and he started hosting the Bible study group at his own home with Christine.
Okay.
And he was volunteering super often with different like church activities. I mean, he no longer had a full-time job, so his full-time job was now becoming just being active in church.
Church, yeah.
So Michael was all in, but Christine, she's not. I mean, like, they've never been religious. We established that.
Right.
It's not her thing, but she's really happy that it's pulling Michael out of this funk, you know?
I can see that for sure.
There was a depression that kind of settled over him, and like his pride, his ego had been wounded because of no longer being that provider.
Yeah.
So now he's like got some more purpose. He's making new friends. She likes to see it. She wants to see him happy.
And I'm sure it's making their like home life even easier.
Yeah. She's just not as dedicated as him.
Yeah.
You know, like she has a home to care for. She has a husband, and she's got 5 boys.
5. Oh, good God.
Hands are full.
Overfloweth.
But as happy as she is for his like new turnaround, she's a little bit not happy with him spending private time with Marie.
You know what? I agree.
I can't blame her.
I agree.
I cannot blame.
Yeah.
Christine even told Michael what?
I was going to say, I would say the same thing, like if it was like genders were reversed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like if it was if I would expect my husband to be like, you're spending like
a lot
of time, and not just time, but like one-on-one individual time with the opposite sex, which not saying that it's a bad thing, but the amount and behind closed doors is yeah, especially in a vulnerable position that he is in reference to her. Like there's a power dynamic.
Yes.
So.
And she's also much younger than him. So that's just kind of weird.
Oh, yeah, because she's 22. I forgot she's 22.
Like, yeah, he's like 30s, 40s kind of thing. So kind of weird.
That's crazy because there's 2 different power dynamics that go opposite ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Wow.
So I can understand Christine being kind of uncomfortable with this.
Absolutely.
But she even said to Michael, like, you're more interested in Marie than you actually are with church. That's what I think.
Ooh.
And
strong words.
She never accused them of an affair up until this point, you know. She just said, I think you're both interested in each other and you're using the study time to be with each other, like to just spend time together. So, you know, the tension is rising.
Yeah. Which I'd be saying the same thing. Let's just be honest. Like, I'd be saying the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not good for their marriage.
No, it can't be at all.
So Michael, as like Christine is kind of like talking with him about how she's uncomfortable, he starts to distance himself from her and the boys, just their whole family altogether. And he's like just allotting most of his time and energy to Marie and church stuff.
I was so excited. I was about to be like, good job. You mean your wife told you she was uncomfortable with something and you went, all right, yeah. Cool. I'll
distance
step away
from Marie.
And then I was like,
no.
Wait, he's distancing himself more from his what? And his kids?
And again, this is not like him because like Christine's father said, even after all this time together, several years together and children and building a life together, he's still always super in love with her. So this has got to make Christine feel insecure and uncomfortable, the fact that he is now distancing himself. It screams affair.
With a bullhorn.
And he's now irritable at home. He's like short-tempered. He's annoyed with his boys, with her. Yeah, he's just like, he's not acting normal at home.
Yeah.
Things were fine. Yes, they were stressful because of the new financial situation and stuff, but like, it was never this bad.
Yeah. Give me the financial shit. We can overcome financial shit, but an affair, even an emotional affair, cut me open and tear my heart out.
And this is just in a very short period of time right after he's met Marie and started spending time with her. So Christine is fed up. She's absolutely fed up.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, it's about to hit the fan. Okay, so at one of the Bible studies, Christine is like, I got to let it out. I got to talk about this. I've got to say something.
Get it, girl.
So she tells the group while they're both there, like everybody's there, Marie, Michael, her. She's like, I think something's going on between my husband and Marie. I think that they're in a relationship. And the study session screeches to a halt.
Of course.
Everyone's dumbfounded. They're like, Marie and Michael and Christine are all looking at each other with the widest eyes. They're like,
oh my gosh.
You know, like the shifty eyes kind of thing.
My whole body's like, right now.
So first of all, Michael and Marie, they deny anything inappropriate is going on.
Of course.
Yes, they do say we've been like meeting privately for Bible study, but nothing nefarious is taking place. You know?
Okay.
But the group, they all start speaking because now this is their problem collectively.
Yeah.
It's no longer a marriage problem. It is the church's problem. So they're all talking. They're like, okay, you know what? We need Michael and Marie to go to the other room and go ahead and hash out whatever's happening between them. Like, they need to get their story straight and come back to us with whatever they figured out.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why they didn't say, why doesn't Michael and his wife go to the other room?
That's where I was like,
isn't that kind of...
What?
Yeah.
Myers.
I don't know. But we don't know what was said or what was done when they were in the other room.
Yeah.
But they come back out, they rejoin the group, they finish the study session, everybody goes home. Nothing else is said the rest of the time.
Okay, so the wife goes, so I think something inappropriate is happening with my husband and the pastor. And they're like, oh my gosh, husband, pastor, I need you to go to the other room and like really talk about this by yourselves, alone.
After you've been accused of an affair.
What the fuck is going on? Okay, guys.
I don't know how they decided that made sense, but they did.
I just don't understand how if nothing is going on, right? Let's just say nothing's going on. This is 1,000% innocent.
Friendly.
Why would you not, as a husband, hear that from your wife? Your wife is uncomfortable with this relationship. Why would you not immediately go, I see that. I'm so sorry. This is giving me a lot when it comes to like my spiritual walk, and I don't want to give that up. So like, can we work together to come up with a way that you're comfortable, but I'm not having to sacrifice my spiritual growth? Like, what does that look like for us?
Because giving him the benefit of the doubt too, like maybe he didn't realize, maybe he's so enthralled with the idea of like newfound hope and this new friend that's like got a lot of information on things that he wants to know more about, that like maybe he was just so enraptured by this new way of life that he really didn't think about how it would affect his wife. So
yeah.
But then when she says something, you're right. Like he should have been like, oh, I need to like rethink my priorities for a second.
Right. Because there are solutions. Have somebody go with you to these Bible studies.
Take Christine with you to the Bible study. Have the Bible study at home with your boys involved too.
Yeah, like there are so many solutions. And yet he was like, I'm just going to go the opposite direction. That sounds great.
Oh, yeah. And he went all the way the wrong direction. Okay. So the next day, the group gets back together. And
God damn, how many Bible studies have you having?
Like every day.
Good God. Okay. Well, it's one of those groups. Okay.
So the next day, Michael confesses that something did happen.
So you mean to tell me that this motherfucker deny, and then all of a sudden, oh, yeah, something happened. Nah, shit.
So he confesses that he tried to kiss her during that, like, when they sent them to the other room.
Shut the goddamn motherfucking door.
Yeah. He says, I tried to kiss her, but she refused me. And whatever was between us is done now. And then he announces that a godly victory has been won since he and Marie have overcome their lust for each other.
So your wife was right on the money.
Right.
So this was an emotional affair. That we know of.
Yeah. The rest of that session, I don't know what Christine said, but Maria and Michael didn't interact the rest of the time besides like when they were speaking in tongues with the whole group.
Okay.
But the rest of the time, the whole group is a little bit shocked, you know, with the whole situation.
Rightfully so.
And it's just a little bit awkward for everybody there. So
can you imagine?
Yeah. But they also noticed that something about Michael seemed a little bit off after his confession and stuff. I think that it was probably that he's a little bit embarrassed and a little bit, I don't know. He's just, he's not in a good place mentally.
No.
You know?
No.
Just overall.
And now he's like confessing a very intimate type thing. Like even, it doesn't have to be like crazy sexual for it to be intimate, but he's confessing this in front of a group of people.
Mm-hmm. And they said that his interactions and behaviors were labeled as like beastly the rest of the session.
Okay.
I don't understand exactly what they mean by this. There weren't like specific examples, but I am reminded of Christine's sentiment earlier saying that his awakening seemed carnal.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm just thinking like aggressive, over the top.
That's the word I was going to use, was aggressive. So he's like overcompensating for his embarrassment by being even more aggressive.
Like impassioned with like spiritual things maybe.
That would be my guess.
Well, at the very end of the Bible study session, Michael lunges across the room at Marie.
All right, well.
Just
nail on the head.
Unprovoked. He screamed, he pinned her to the ground, and he was yelling in tongues, and they described him looking over her like a predator sizing up prey.
Both of us.
Marie said that it was absolutely terrifying, and she was scared for her safety in that moment. And the entire group had to pull him away from her. And once he let her go, Marie ran to the corner of the room to like catch her breath and like steady herself.
That is terrifying. Do you think he did it in like jealousy? Like he was so jealous that or like hurt that she rejected him?
That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Wow.
Well, Michael's like angry expression faded to confusion. And he looked around at his church friends and he was like, I just felt like something took over me. Like, I don't know what that was about. Like, I don't know what happened. That wasn't like me at all. So he was confused. And he didn't even know why he did what he did. When they were asking him, he's like, I don't know why I did that. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, nothing happened, you know?
Brain tumor, immediately, hospital.
That would be a good line of thinking. Yeah, so in the following days, he kept behaving just out of character. He tore down any religious decor in his home with Christine. So any crosses or like verses, anything that looked like angel hands or like anything like that.
So he doesn't get his girl and literally goes off the rails and throws everything away. He's throwing out the baby with the bathwater.
Seems like it. And one of his neighbors actually said he yelled at them, this is so weird, to drink the milk of human kindness, and then spat on her and said to drink it.
Oh, hell no.
And this neighbor started to like run away from him, obviously. And he ran after her and started yelling, the wrath of God is upon you.
This man is having a full-blown mental health crisis and religious delusions.
Oh yeah, this is a mental breakdown.
What the hell?
He needs to be hospitalized for sure.
Hospital.
So the mental breakdown and aggressive behavior made its way around town pretty quickly by word of mouth, and eventually fell on the ears of a vicar named Father Peter.
A what?
Vincent. Father Peter Vincent, a vicar.
A vicar?
A vicar is like a bishop for the Roman Catholic or English church at the time.
Thank you. We're in England. I have to remind myself.
I'm sorry.
I'm literally thinking America the whole entire time. And I know you said England in the beginning. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So the vicar, Father Peter Vincent, and his wife, Sally Vincent, heard about what was happening. And they worked for St. Thomas Church, and they were well-known exorcists.
Okay.
So Father Vincent invited the Taylor family to come to their home. And he said that he saw Michael's behavior and realized that the word around town was not just silly rumors. And that Michael had become angry while they were at dinner. I don't know what the context of the conversation was at dinner, but Michael became angry and broke plates, threw cutlery. He was yelling, and he allegedly threw the Vincent's family cat out of a window. hospital. I'm sorry. At this point, I should also say that animal abuse is talked about in this. So, like, this part, we don't know if the cat was, if this actually happened or if the cat was hurt or anything, but I do have absolute concrete evidence of
other
animal abuse that is very graphic later on.
Damn.
So I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the trigger warnings, but I need to mention it now.
I don't think you did.
Sorry about that.
No, it's good. And I know I am looking at this from a 2025 lens, okay? But it still is mind-boggling to me when there is things like this happening. And not just, this isn't a one instance type thing. It is a repetitive
pattern of behavior.
Yeah. And nobody's like, maybe we should go to the doctor.
A medical professional would be helpful in these instances.
Psych ward. They have mental institutions back then.
That's the thing. Like, this is not a point in time in which they don't have access to some type of mental health care. Is it the greatest? No. Is it the most informed? No.
Is it taboo? Yes.
Is it taboo? Yes. Absolutely, it's taboo. But yeah.
But still.
Well, as you can probably deduce, the Vincents believed that Michael was most likely possessed. And Father Vincent specifically said there are multiple spirits that are battling in Michael's body, and they all want control so that they can ultimately just destroy him.
Okay, so that sounds like, I'm not saying this is what he had, but like it sounds like DID.
A little bit, it does, yeah.
I'm just saying.
It also could just be like anger issues, you know, with like all the stuff piling up on him.
A full-blown mental breakdown. He's having his own little minty bee.
Well, Christine was hesitant about this conclusion that they'd come to. Her whole plan had actually been to get away from all of the religious influences and focus on time together as a family, reconnecting.
Agreed.
Which seems actually not the worst thing. If you're not gonna go to a doctor, I think the next best step is just step away from religion, you know?
Because if you look at their pattern of behavior, it was, okay, everything was good. Okay, now we're having, you know, some hardships when it comes to financial, you know, stuff. But like mentally, we're doing okay. We go to church. Our mental health is now in the fucking depths of the ocean. And so the only thing that changed in between those was religion. So, okay, let's get away from that and maybe
we backtrack a bit.
Things will turn back to normal.
Yeah. But Father Vincent was enthusiastic and firm that Michael needed help from the church, so he put together a team of some leaders within the St. Thomas Church to help them drive out the darkness in him.
Okay.
And October 5th would be the longest day of Michael's life, where he was subjected to 7 hours of torture. The group quickly categorized Michael as possessed when they all joined him, so they all very much agreed with Father Vincent when they saw him. Michael spat at them. He bit, scratched, and twitched. I'm not sure if they were grabbing at him. A lot of these older cases, we don't know the context of like how they approached him or what the conversation with him was upon initially meeting.
Right.
If he's already got some anger issues happening during this time, it's not a far stretch to see that he might resort to violence whenever he's threatened or accused of something, you know.
Yeah, agreed.
So he was lunging at some of the church members, and in order to prevent this, they tied him down on the floor.
Golly.
So Michael is super angry. He's snarling, baring his teeth to anyone that approaches him after he's tied up. And he was subjected to horrendous things. They shoved wooden crosses in his mouth. They burned his cross necklace on his chest, literally burned it onto his chest.
Like burned the cross and then pushed it into his chest?
Yeah.
Branded. He was branded.
He was forced to confess to sins that he had never committed. He was verbally abused, accused of treacherous things, and physically beaten for hours.
Was his wife there?
Yes, she was there. I'm not sure she was in the room witnessing this or partaking in this.
Okay.
I have a strong feeling she was in the house, but not in the room.
Okay.
I don't think that she was part of this ritual. She just knew it was happening.
This was at his house.
He was also doused with holy water constantly. I don't know if that means a sprinkle or a splash.
Right.
Could have been both.
Yeah.
But Father Vincent claimed that 40 demons had left his body that represented bestiality, incest, blasphemy, heresy, and more. And he claimed that 3 were left, those of violence, insanity, and murder.
Bestiality. Where the hell did that come from?
See, that was part of the things they were accusing him of and made him confess to.
You guys went off the rails.
So really horrendous things that he had never done, ever. But they were accusing him of it and then interrogating him and making him kind of believe that he had done these things so that he would confess. So
it's giving Lorraine Warren, like when she was like, oh, there's 20 demons in
oh my God,
the little boy. And so, it's just made me think of that.
Heads up, it's about to get bloody again. So we're circling back to that first part of the story. So if you need to bow out, we'll see you later.
So that's not paint. That's my guess. It's not paint. Keep going, though.
7 a.m., October 6th, everyone goes home to rest. So Michael and Christine went home, and their children were at their grandparents' house throughout the entire situation. So none of the kids know what was happening at all, which is good.
Oh, at least there's that.
At 10 a.m., 3 short hours later, Michael snapped. In the town square, Michael was seen stumbling around, naked, covered in that red paint. And concerned community members, they know him. It's a small community.
Right. And he's been having a mental breakdown for a while.
Yeah, people have heard things, so they automatically report this to authorities. So police, 2 officers find Michael sitting on a bench, and he's covered in this red stuff. And it is actually blood smeared and splattered all across his body. And whenever they questioned him about, what is on you? Whose blood is this? And he said, it's the blood of Satan. And he said, I don't remember how the blood got here at all. And he said, I just feel like I kind of zoned out or something. I don't know, something else took over me. And one of the officers knew Michael personally, and he requested backup to tend to the family home. He said, somebody needs to check out the home. I'm going to stay with him.
Yeah.
With this other officer. So the first officer on the scene at the house discovered a gruesome sight.
No.
And he ran from the house to vomit. Christine had been murdered either by strangulation or blood loss and shock from a brutal attack. Some reports said that it's possible she could have drowned in her own blood.
Yeah.
Her face was mutilated. She didn't even have a face.
What?
Her eyes had been gouged out and her whole face had been torn from her head. Her tongue had been cut out as well.
Can you fucking imagine walking in on that?
When I first was looking into it, I was like, why did he vomit? I'm sure he's seen some stuff. As a police officer, you just see stuff
Right. Yeah, he's seen that.
Whatever. But then after more research, I was like, oh, I also would not have been able to go back in there, and I would have thrown up everything.
No. Oh, he literally lost his goddamn marbles.
So the furniture, walls, floor, everything was covered in her blood. And a trail of it led out the back door of the home where the door was open. So that is where Michael had wandered into town.
And the kids are still at the grandparents.
Yes, they're nowhere near this.
The heavens.
That's the only thing we can be grateful for.
Oh, gosh.
This is where the animal abuse comes in. If you gotta leave, you gotta leave. And I get it. I don't even want to talk about this, but I know I have to. So, in other horrifying news, the dogs, the small family dog, it was a poodle. It had been strangled, and all of its limbs had been torn off. All of its hair, teeth, and eyes were removed from its head. That's all that happened. I can't talk about it anymore with the dog.
Oh my God. Why? What?
I can't explain it. I literally can't explain this.
How was he even strong enough to do that, to rip the limbs off? I cannot.
Okay, so here, you're on the right track. So if you're wondering about a weapon, there was no weapon at any point in time. The medical examiner determined that based on their findings, no weapons had been used. Most likely this was done by just his bare hands. alone.
To his wife?
To his wife and the dog, both. I don't have any idea how this happens. Seriously, I have no idea.
I am shooketh.
So the medical examiner came to that conclusion, but police still searched the house for a weapon.
Of course.
And they thoroughly searched, and they said nothing was a match. So, like, obviously there were probably, like, kitchen knives and stuff like that in the house.
Yeah,
but
anything.
nothing had been used. Nothing had been touched, tampered with, nothing. And nothing lined up with the things that had been done. So, like, there were no serrated edges to things, like how a serrated knife might be. There were no clean cuts like a knife. There was no, like, bludgeoning with, like,
a pipe or a
hammer, a pipe, a crowbar, nothing like that. So they were just completely, like, it had to be his hands. And that explains why he is completely, I mean, it's not just his hands and arms or something. It's all over him. His face, his hair, his neck, his legs, everywhere.
And blood is very slippery, okay?
Oh.
So to think that he, like, was able to keep going in that amount of blood and still, like, attack her, beat her, and, like, and then the dog. And if this was in a movie, if this was in a horror film, we'd be like, okay, guys, you took it too far. That wouldn't really happen.
But it did.
Here we are. And I'm uncomfortable.
So back in police custody, Michael told police they primed me for it. They filled me with the devil instead of helping me. And he said that his wife had been possessed too, so he killed her. He felt like he had to kill every living thing in his home to rid all of the evil spirits. And when he was asked, you know, how do you feel now that it's over? And he said, I am released. It is done. The evil in her has been destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
Which is another reason that I can be grateful the kids weren't there, because he said every living thing.
Yeah, he would have.
So you know that would have meant if any of those boys had been there,
he would have killed them.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind.
If he was going to kill the dog in the way that he did, he was going to kill those kids.
Exactly. And it could have just become even more like traumatic. I can't imagine, my brain actually can't even fathom a more traumatic, brutal way to, like, hurt or kill someone.
Because you know it was slow. There was no weapon.
Just imagine it could have gotten even worse with because there were 5 boys.
Yeah.
5 other opportunities for him to make things even worse. I don't know.
Agreed.
So the town was overcome by this, like, morbid, terrifying case.
Yeah.
One of their own that was just an average family man. He had been their butcher. He had been their just run-of-the-mill guy, a family guy, you know? And media, they had a heyday. Come on, the blood, demonic possession.
They always do.
It's a sensational story of an average family driven to insanity. Like,
yeah,
it was a big deal.
This is the stuff they hope to get to make it to the front page. So
they ran with it.
Yeah.
So in the whole wake of things, a clinical psychologist evaluated Michael and determined he had experienced such an intense mental breakdown due to the hours of torture and distress the night before. That is why he doesn't remember things, and he kind of, like, blacked out and snapped. Like, he was dehydrated, he was beaten, he was, you know, starved a little bit, he was accused of horrible things, he was convinced horrible things. And so they said that is most likely the reason as to why he did these things to Christine and the dog.
You have to think about it. If you're sick with, like, a cold, if you don't get sleep,
oh, yeah,
your cold will get worse and worse and worse. So now you've taken, it gives us a mental illness, but you're still depriving him of sleep, which is affecting his brain.
You're beating him.
And so much more. So you are exasperating the condition he already had and was already struggling with. And you just literally stuck a flame under it.
Yeah, so I think you're right about that. And I just want to say, this doesn't excuse anything that he did. He should not have done these things.
Right.
But it does kind of, like, give us some more information as to why what occurred, did. So Investigators also determined that the St. Thomas Church operated like a cult, and they preyed on individuals who were mentally unwell to justify and demonstrate their religious powers.
Agreed. They literally sought him out. He did not go to them. They sought him out.
Exactly. They invited him to his house, and they convinced him and his wife, something's wrong with you that we need to, we are the ones to take care of it. So Michael's attorney completely blamed the church, stating, let those who are truly responsible for these killings stand up.
Yeah.
And he said, we submit that Taylor was a mere cipher and the real guilt lies elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they are also to blame, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was his hands that did the killing, and that was completely wrong, and he needs to be held accountable. But also, the church should also be held just as accountable in my brain.
He, I feel like, could be rehabilitated. This in my mind, he could potentially be rehabilitated in the sense of he was never like this prior to his mental decline.
Mm-hmm.
So he could potentially get the help and be rehabilitated.
Mm-hmm.
But the church was in their right mind. They were actively had the wherewithal and still chose to do this.
Yeah.
So they are, this is just my personal opinion, even more responsible than him.
Mm-hmm.
Is he responsible? Yes. Should he still be held accountable for what he did? Absolutely.
Well, the church stood up for Father Vincent whenever they came under fire. But they did cover up some of their practices by altering some of them after the case went viral. Specifically regarding exorcisms, they changed their laws about it,
protocols,
stating that they labeled them as unwise for the first time in ever, because they had been totally chill about them in the past. But Father Vincent was asked about the case many, many times, and everyone thought he would feel some type of guilt or remorse. But he said it was the most revealing case of a demon possession, and that God will bring good out of this in his own way.
See? No remorse. No nothing. He's just
you have no heart, truly.
We just weren't able to get the demon out, and the demon did what the demon did. Sucks.
So where's the demon now? Where is it now?
Mm-hmm.
Another person who was actually helping with the exorcism, his name was Reverend Raymond Wilson. He felt differently. He was very ashamed.
Good.
And he said that he was actually doubtful from the beginning. And he advised Christine to take Michael to a doctor before the ultimate decision of an exorcism. Christine didn't do this because she was fearful of causing him even more distress.
I can see that.
She was just feeling like her hands were tied in a way. And I don't really blame her for this.
I don't either. I can see it.
Yes, at the time it was taboo to go to the hospital for mental health things, but...
Mm-hmm. And she knows he's not going to want to do that. And so it's going to cause more harm, whether it's okay or not.
And he's already angry and short-tempered and he's irritable with her. So I don't think she felt like she was going to win this.
Yeah.
But to have other people come in and be let us assist with this, it just felt safer to her, probably.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't want to put words in her mouth. She's not with us, so.
Yeah, and probably more of what he would have wanted.
Or what he was more open to.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Father Vincent's wife, Sally, blamed Michael's possession on Marie, that 22-year-old pastor from the beginning.
I don't blame that either.
I see where she was going with that, but no church members were ever charged with any crimes in this case. But Sally Vincent was let go from her teaching job, and Father Vincent was relocated to a different church in a different town.
That tracks. Just push him to another congregation. We're good.
Yeah.
Wait till the heat.
I don't really know whatever happened with them if they kept practicing. I assume they're probably dead by now because they were older.
Probably. Yeah.
Michael was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Shortly after the trial, a doctor deemed him as completely disassociated from reality. He was transferred to a high-security mental health facility where he stayed during his trial, and he spent 4 years in custody of mental health professionals. Any diagnosis that he received there, we don't know or have access to.
Okay.
And he was released after 4 years and actually moved back to that same town in Ossetts.
What the hell?
So his hometown. Unfortunately, he attempted suicide 4 times. On the last time, he badly injured his back again.
Oh, God.
And one of his legs after throwing himself off of a bridge. And for 30 years, he laid low. And in 2005, he was arrested for indecent conduct with a minor. He inappropriately touched a teenage girl. And when in custody, he actually started to mimic some of that behavior. Like right before he killed Christine.
Yeah.
He was kind of mimicking some of those same behaviors.
Yeah.
But after 1 week, he was released on bail and he pled guilty to sexual assault and sentenced to 3 years of community service and ordered outpatient psychiatric services. A few years ago, there's a podcast called Where in the Line?
Where in the Line?
Where in the Line?
Okay.
They contacted a man that was named Phil, who actually dated the Vincent's daughter at the time of the exorcism. And he told...
Wait, hold on. Let me track this.
Yes.
The Vincent's daughter.
So Father Vincent and Sally Vincent...
They did the exorcism, so...
their daughter.
He was dating their daughter at the time of the exorcism.
Yeah, at the time.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, tracked.
Mm-hmm. So he told them that Sally was a huge architect in the entire exorcism, and she pretty much controlled the marriage and controlled Father Vincent. She was obsessed with demonic research. So she was pretty much, he says that he believed, and from what he witnessed, that she was the one holding all the cards, pulling all the strings.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
a lot of the blame obviously was placed on Father Vincent, but he said that he was more convinced that like the blame probably should have gone more towards Sally. I mean, they were both, architects in the game ultimately, but
right. But she held more weight.
Yeah.
In the choices that were made.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are several, videos, and there's actually a book that is based off of this whole case. It's called 1977, and it's by David Peace.
Nice.
And that is the story of Michael Taylor and the exorcism that led him to committing atrocious, horrific, disturbing, just unfathomable things.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
He was legally found to be insane.
Yeah.
Like he was not in his right mind. And
he was obviously never the same. He tried to kill himself several times.
I was going to say that. Can you imagine coming out of that and knowing what you did and realizing like my hands did that, whether I was in my right mind or not, and not being able to live with that? Like I completely see why he would want to end his life for multiple times.
Yeah.
Did his kids ever come out and like say anything?
I don't know. I don't really know about any of that. I didn't try to look up anything about the kids.
Yeah.
Because I assume that they probably kind of laid low as well.
Yeah, unless it just like naturally comes across in your research, because they were outspoken is usually when it's the case, and you find it pretty easily. But
that's actually, I guess we should maybe make that clear to the listeners too, that like,
yeah,
just like you said, if it's not organically coming out, that like they're advocates or actively involved in the case,
doing interviews or whatever,
or if there's like direct testimony isn't available, we just don't try to reach out or even really look them up for the most part.
Yeah.
But whenever it does come up, then we got to use our best judgment there as to if we're going to reach out or if we have enough information where we feel like we could adequately tell some of their experience.
Yeah, without needing to reach out. Yeah.
Yeah, because we never want to re-traumatize, re-victimize people.
We don't want to cause more harm.
Especially if it's kids and if it happened to them as kids.
Exactly. I am going to be honest, out of all of our Halloween spooky exorcisms, I think this one's the worst.
I had to leave you with
this is a banger.
Horrible one, yeah.
In not a good way. Good God.
I didn't expect it to end the way it would. When I saw murder, I was like, oh, they're going to murder Michael.
That's what I was thinking. But then I was like, okay, if he's covered in red, though, like, who did he murder? And so then I'm like, is he murdering the priest? Does he murder his wife?
I bet there are cases out there where an exorcism has led to one of the clergy members being killed, hurt, whatever. I would not doubt that that's probably out there too.
Well, because it's your survival instincts start to kick in when you're being tortured.
Yeah, and all that adrenaline and stuff, and
yeah.
Whenever he talks about, I don't remember it, I don't think that he's lying. He could be.
I think he has black spots in his memory.
But I really think it was a surge of adrenaline that just made him completely that literal blackout type of experience, which I've never had a blackout experience. I hope to never have one.
No. Good God. No. That's why, if I ever drink, I only drink. I don't even like to feel buzzed.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a control freak. I'm I want to be fully in control.
If she can't click the off switch, she's not.
Yeah, no, I don't like it.
Yeah. That's one reason that I will never do acid is you can't, there's not an off switch to it. Once you're in it, you're in it. It's on. And you just got to ride it out.
Yeah.
And I need control too. I cannot, nope.
I need control. I can't. No. Shrooms, I couldn't even do. I can do shrooms.
Nope.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Call me a pansy.
That's fine. We'll just have some ashwagandha, and if we want the side effects to go away, we just drink some coffee. It's fine.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, my butt needs to unpucker, so let's take a hard right turn into our palate cleansers.
Do you have one?
I do. Let me think about it for a second. I had a joke, and I just want to make sure.
Oh my God.
What do you call a huge 18-wheeler full of dildos getting ready to be delivered?
The big dick? I don't know.
Toys for twats.
Shut the fuck up. Okay. I
heard that the other day.
That's pretty good.
That's a good one.
Okay, well, on the same track of psychedelics.
I thought you were about to say on the same track of dildos.
Nope. The Good News Network reports that depression patients treated with psychedelic mushrooms 5 years ago are still symptom-free.
Damn. Those are some strong mushrooms.
The study involved participants from a trial published in 2021 that found psilocybin, the primary psychedelic substance produced in mushrooms, was effective at treating major depressive disorder when combined with psychotherapy in adults.
Wow.
2/3 of the clinical trial participants treated with this psilocybin-assisted therapy were in complete remission from their depression after 5 years, as well as self-reporting lasting improvement across a range of well-being measurements.
That's crazy. I would like to know more on how much was the dosage, how often was it given, kind of thing. That sounds interesting.
That's super cool though.
Whatever helps.
Wow, 5 years. That's quite a good measurement.
Yeah, and it's not just normal depression, it's major depressive disorder. So that's pretty extreme.
That's a win.
That's a huge win.
I'll think.
Huge. Wow.
That's it for us.
Well, those were our palate cleansers. That was it. And I need to go wash my brain.
Okay.
So
yeah, take it out. Give it a good scrub with some Dawn dish soap. Not a sponsor.
Right.
And with that, please stay safe, stay skeptical,
and steer clear of the cultist carousel. Bye. Also, heathens, if you're enjoying the show so far, subscribe, do all the things because we love you. And I really do hope you guys are enjoying all of our little new ads lately. My husband told me that the one for our merch where I sound like a televangelist, he laughed his ass off. He was like, you got to do more of those because that was the best thing ever. So I hope you guys are enjoying those. And as always, go shop our merch store, be a part of our potty podcast, do all those things, okay? We will see you guys in the next episode. Deadly Faith is produced by Laci Bean and Lola Robbins and audio engineered by Eric Howell. Thanks for listening.